Good morning. And it looks like we might get a bit of a sunrise. We might have some color in our sunrise. It's a lot of clouds and there's a little bit of open sky there. But it's not going to happen for about, I'm guessing 15-20 minutes. Getting an early start here. On this garbage day, I can see probably about almost a dozen garbage cans up and down the street, sitting in front of the driveways like sentinels, guarding our places. Yeah. Anyway, yesterday was pizza day, today is garbage day. Yeah, every day is special, right? Especially at the model table. Now, we have a real long rollback. I spent a lot of time here yesterday afternoon and evening. And you probably can't see it from back there, but we worked on this little part right here. It was the sled for the catapult. And we've got very, very little to do here today. And we're going to try and carefully do it. And so let's roll back and see how we got to this place. Okay. Well, I've got the cylindrical expansion tank or whatever it is glued onto the other side and the other legs. And I was at this place now in step 8, where we have to glue these little things that are probably going out of focus on you into the end of the photo etch piece that we soldered together. And I noticed that I thought we just needed one of these, but apparently we need two, because there is the two photo etch pieces, of course. So anyway, that's why I got the F-sprue back out here, because I got to get the other one, which I have found. And it's not like we lost it or anything like that, so I'm just going to quickly go ahead and get it. And then we'll move in and we'll see if we can insert it into this photo etch thing that we soldered up. You know, I'm just kind of wondering if I should take my little paintbrush and some soapy water and maybe clean some of the flux off of this. It's still going to be ragged. One of the viewers mentioned that he would delicately sand it. But you know, I think I'm too clumsy to do that. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Thanks for the suggestion. But I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And we'll clean it up and paint it. Now, speaking of painting, here's a thought I had. Do you remember this paint that we bought that we didn't like, that we thought we'd like? It might go good on places like the crane, the catapult, anything that is sort of metal. Now, granted, I know the entire ship is made of metal, but I'm just wondering, this might go good on the catapult and the crane. And then, of course, the turrets and stuff like that, they'd all be the same gray as everything else. And also the gun barrels, this might go good on. Somebody suggested that. I think Jason, UK Jason, suggested that. So, yeah. Anyway, just a thought. We're not there yet. Yeah, I'm just going to push stop here, and I'm going to clean these up first, after I get the little piece that we need. Now, the reason I had wanted to use soapy water, at least I think I said soapy water, is because I wanted the soap to cut the acid that was in the flux. And then I remembered that my Iwata airbrush cleaner solution was very soapy. So I used the ultrasonic cleaner, and that seemed to work pretty good. And you can also see the second cylinder there on the side of the catapult. So yeah, just thought I'd show you that. Okay, you're going to be seeing this along with me for the first time. And I'm using my self-locking tweezer here. Maybe it's a little bit too heavy duty. Maybe I'll get something a little bit more delicate here. These are a little finer. I just want to watch that I don't accidentally have it go pinging onto the floor somewhere. Now if I keep everything over this black dot, I know that you'll be able to see it too. Maybe I'll try and go in this way first. Whoops. Being is that it's all soldered together. I think I'm grabbing this wrong. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay, let's just try it like this. I'm afraid of having it, like I say, pinging out of there if I grab it like this. But that's actually the best way to do it. Whoops, it did ping, but not very far. You'll notice that one side of this wheel is sort of flat-sided a little bit. I'm going to try and have that side in. Not that anybody's going to see it anyway. There. It's in. It's in on my side. Do it like this. Okay, now just don't get too aggressive here, Ron. Don't get too aggressive. Okay, let me see. Can I see the axle coming through in that hole? Not quite. You know what? I'm going to have to pick this up and hold it in front of my face. Oh, I can see what's wrong. It has to go back. Just has to go back about 1/4 of a millimeter. Oh, too far. Too far. Now it has to come up. Okay. It's in the right position. It's just that it won't go in the hole. It's like the plastic is just a little bit too big here. I wonder what would happen if I was to just sort of squeeze a little bit like this. I almost need something like a pair of pliers, that I can gradually squeeze, because the tweezers are too spring-loaded, if you know what I mean, and it just, all of a sudden, oh, by the way, that ticking that you hear, that's my spotlight expanding in the heat, from the heat of the spotlight. And, it's very, very close. It's only got to go over just a tiny little bit here. Let's see if I come at it like this. Just sort of wiggle it. Well, like I said, I'm going to have to take it up to my face and do it. Okay, as you can see here, I've got them. Now, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that today is Pizza Day afternoon. And I just checked episode 1136. In other words, the one you would have just seen before you're watching this one right now. And yes, it's uploaded onto YouTube, but it's, at this moment it is only at 360p, which is terrible. So I'm hoping that in the next 45 minutes, it's going to kick into at least 1080p, which is normal high definition. And probably by midnight it'll be 4K, and those of you who watch it, the next day. Like especially folks in the UK, because when it comes up at around 11 o'clock. So, I think maybe turn this one a little bit more like this. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do is just take a little bit of the CA extra thin and just do the ends of the axles. There, I think it's a little better. Now, it probably wouldn't be a good idea to be doing it on this cloth here. Yeah, I think, yeah, that one's perfect. And this one's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay, let's just recompose here and then touch the ends with CA extra thin. Okay, now I want to be careful that I don't accidentally bump these out of place. And come in from the end if I can. And I'll do the other end. Pretty sure I'm getting it. Now this extra thin CA does have a wicking property. I'm having trouble with this one. Get the end of the axle. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not going to fall out of there now. Now, here's something I had happen just a moment ago that I've never had happen before when working with CA. I was swabbing out this little, you'll recognize it as the end of a pipette. And I use it as a mini cup so that I don't, waste a lot of CA. And I was using this particular piece of paper towel here, and I was just sort of, cleaning it out like this. And I accidentally touched my finger here. I'm probably going to have to recompose. But it not only glued the paper towel to my finger, it also burnt. And it, like there was smoke coming off, like from CA, how CA will sometimes, well, it burnt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recompose here. I'm going to take some debonder and a cotton bud, and I'm just going to remove that with a debonder. It shouldn't hurt my skin, and see if I've got a burn there, because it sure hurt. I'm just going to recompose here and get it a little sharper if I can. Now this debonder evaporates very quickly. Okay, let's kind of dry this off here. Now, how does that look? I don't know. It does appear to be a little bit burnt. At least it is to me right here. Right there at the that appears to be burnt. Not to a crisp, but I'm probably gonna have a little scab there. Yeah, it's starting to get red. We'll take a look at it tomorrow. Okay, about I'm guessing 10 minutes ago now, my episode 1136 just uploaded onto YouTube. YouTube just released it. In other words, it's just after 5 here in Winnipeg. And when I checked it, it was running at only 360p, which is about as low as you can possibly get. And so those of you who, like to watch the episode as soon as it airs, well, I guess today's you're going to be a little bit disappointed in it. Okay, I think while we're waiting for these things to cure here, we may as well go ahead and make the sled part of this. At least I imagine that's what you call it, the sled. I called it a trolley before, but that wasn't right. I think you'd call something like this a sled because it sort of slides along. Well, it may have had rollers too, I don't know. That it could be the tweezers might have been better for these ones. Now, I don't want to get too many parts out here because I remember this one here. I was wondering how this goes, but I do see now how it goes. It's going to be really difficult to place. It actually goes in such a way that it cradles these things somehow. Let's see, should this be... Okay, you know what? This should be... I'm going to try and get it right to the world here. You know what? I'm going to move in so that you can see this a little clearer. Okay, this is probably going to be one of those situations where I'm going to have difficulty showing this on camera. Okay, now let's get this one right to the world, okay? So we got 1, 2, 3 holes. There's the 3 holes. All right. Now, this piece here that looks like a wishbone, it appears that, okay, it looks like this part of it here, the bottom of the V, will go in this hole right here. But not like that. I think it's going to have to turn over. So we'll try and turn it over here. Okay, it goes... Where's my other tweezers? Now, it looks like it goes like this. And then it joins up with... Well, let's see what these pieces would look like when they're in place here. They have to go something like this. It might be a good idea to put these ones in first. Okay, yeah, okay, I can see. Yeah, if I put these ones in first and have them pretty much straight up and down, almost like they sort of look like railings, don't they? But they're not. There's some sort of bracing for the sled, and then the aircraft is going to have to somehow be mounted on this thing, very precariously. Okay. Like I was saying, I don't think I can do this easily on camera because I'm going to have to put a little bit of glue in that hole and in that hole and then drop this in. Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe if I was to mount this on blue tack so it didn't move around. I'll see what I can do. I'd like to show you this being done if I can. You know, it's fun for me to do this, even though it, is making the build a lot longer. Okay, here is something that I have never done before. I'm going to try and mount the part on the blue tack on the manual. Like I say, I've never done this before, so see, I want to make sure I got the blue tack square. All right, we should be able to get that off of the paper, I would think. Now, this makes it a lot better. Now maybe I can do this. And not only that, it holds it up a little bit off of the paper so that if I have any problem with the glue wicking down, it's not going to glue the pages together here. Now, if you remember right, we thought that these two pieces might be mirror image to each other, but it could be that the pegs sort of lean one way or the other, but I'm looking at it right now and I'm not seeing any difference. I'm not seeing any difference. It looks the same to me. You know, it's not like I don't think it would make any difference. In other words, which anyway, Ron, shut up. Okay, let's get ready here. I guess the best ones for me to do is the ones furthest away from me first. That way I don't need to reach over top. So let's get our glue here. I'm going to use the quick setting again. And we're just going to put some in this hole here. And in this hole here. I don't have too long here to do this, because this very small amount, it will dry very quickly. Now, can we get it here? I might have to apply some more glue. Whoops, that's not how I do it. I think my glue is probably drying out now. You know what? Maybe I should be holding this different. Where's the other tweezers here? I'm going to have to put more glue in there now. Yeah, this might work better like this. What's that on my finger? Okay, it's gone now, whatever it is. Okay, let's re-glue. Okay, now, yeah, this is working a lot better. look like this one's in. Oh. I do believe we got it in the right holes. I do believe. Okay, I've turned this whole thing around about 180 degrees. So the side we're working on is facing you, and it's good for me too. Now I'm noticing on this one here that we glued in, when I pressed down on it to make sure that the peg was in the hole, the plastic had softened so much that it sort of squished itself out of shape there. Okay, now I'm trying to get it down in that hole. Maybe let's put a little bit of quick setting there. Now this one isn't too bad. It's already glued. I don't know if I should put any on there or not. Maybe just a touch. Okay, now let's let that meld. Might have to, it's leaning your way a bit, so I'm going to just sort of squeeze it together. See, I want it so that when I put this piece in, it's going to kind of bind. Now I didn't see any little holes or anything for this to mount into, so I guess it's a case of you just have to kind of eyeball it. Okay, let's just leave that for a few minutes. Okay, I don't know when it happened, but about half an hour ago, just after 8 o'clock actually, I checked YouTube, and episode 1136 finally got processed into full high definition. So it could have been as much as almost 3 hours from the time that it was posted at 5 o'clock. Now, I know I keep going on and on and on about this, but for me it's important that everybody gets to see my video in high definition. I mean, I sort of go out of my way to make them really sharp and so on, and if YouTube is going to mess them up on me. So I think what I'm going to be doing is tomorrow I'm going to be cutting this episode off a little early and get the upload started early, and that way, we'll just see what happens. I don't know, it seems that when Google took over YouTube, things sort of went downhill. I thought they'd get better. Well, actually they did get better for a little while. They were, everything was going extremely fast. And then it just slowly, progressively got worse and worse to what it is right now. Anyway, I'm still feeling a little bit gung-ho, and I'm wondering if maybe we should try and get this little piece in place here. I don't know if we'll have time to do everything. Maybe we'll have to leave these two for tomorrow morning. But anyway, let's just get our macro lens on here and recompose and get in nice and close and try and get our wishbone in place. Okay, now we've got to turn this over so that the pin is down, and the idea is that it goes into that hole that I'm just sort of covering up right now, and then this has to spread apart a little. I wonder if there's... Okay, I'm grabbing it with different tweezers here, but maybe these are also the wrong ones. I should have maybe done a couple of dry runs here before I pushed record, right? Okay, I'm repositioning this thing in these tweezers, and the idea is to try and force it in there. Whoops, don't want to lose this thing. It could be that when I glued these into place, I should have glued them, spread them out just a little bit more than I did. Okay, I just did now a little bit. I can redo it with the extra thin later. I wonder if it would be a good idea to maybe just forget about trying to do all 3 points at the same time. Maybe if I was to use a self-locking tweezer and just sort of hold this almost in the right position and then bend it up the rest of the way afterwards. I'm just going to press stop here and try and get a self-locking tweezer on that thing. Okay, I tried a self-locking tweezer and it didn't want to work, so I'm back to my other ones again. And I've only got so many tries at this, and then what's going to happen is this part is going to, down at the V, it's going to get weak. Now, can I stand this up just a little bit there? The less I have to bend it later, the better. Now, I think you can see what's supposed to happen now once this dries. I'm going to just put just a tiny bit so it'll meld. Okay. The plastic should all meld together, and I have this feeling like I'd like to try and, shove it down into the hole, but I don't think I need to. I think that we just let this about as back as far as I can get it here. We'll just wait a minute or so, and then this is supposed to come apart. Okay, spread this apart, and then this other thing is supposed to go in between. If my fingers were just a little bit smaller, just a tiny bit smaller. Maybe I'm rushing it here. Maybe we should just leave it overnight. And I'm just gonna very carefully push. Ooh! Just want to make sure it's down in that hole. I think it's about as good as it can get there. The more I work it back and forth, the weaker it's going to get on the bottom there. Now, on the other hand, if I leave it overnight, it's going to be almost brittle. But it only has to go back, the top, these ends here, they only have to go back about 1 millimeter. You know what? I'm going to leave it for the morning. We'll see you in the morning.
Well, it is morning. And I was noticing when I was editing out the rollback that I didn't have the angle of the camera too good for you there all the time. Sometimes you couldn't see this little hole in the middle that I was trying to glue this wishbone into. Yeah, when I'm working on a piece like this, I can sort of move my head around and, to make sure I can see, but you're sort of at the mercy of the way I set the camera. So I'm going to try and adjust things a little bit differently here. It's really hard to get it so that all aspects of what we're trying to do here show up at the same time. Like right now, the way it's swinging, you can probably see. Let me check the monitor. Yeah, you can see that where this thing plugs into the deck part of this platform, or what do you want to call it, sled. And but then you are not going to be able to see when I try to spread this apart and get the wishbone up in there. Now, it could be that this has become too brittle, you might say, the connection, and it's going to keep springing back out. I'm going to have to check the plan here. Like when we check the plan, where is it? Can you see it over here? No, I guess you can't. I'll put the macro lens on and we'll take a good look at it. I'm pretty sure that this part that looks like a railing is supposed to be spread, and the top of the wishbone is supposed to go on the inside to help hold it open. At least that's what it looks like on the drawing. Let me get the macro lens on here, and we'll look at that. Okay, when I look really close like this, it appears to me that the wishbone goes on the inside of the railing. You can see right there, there's the top of the one, and of course the other one you can't see, but it would be on the other side of this part right here. So I'm pretty sure this is the way it's supposed to go. So let's try and do that. Well, our sunrise, it has happened, and it was nothing special. So I'm probably not going to do anything with that today. But what I'm doing here is I'm thinking if I mount it on our rotator, I can sort of spin it around. You'll be able to see what I'm doing, and I'll be able to get a different perspective every once in a while. Now, I'm just wondering here if it might not be a good idea to sort of spring these out before I try to stick it down with the blue tack. Oh, by the way, the blue tack came off the manual completely. I can't see anything on the paper where I had stuck this down. I thought there might be a little, like kind of a little greasy spot or something, but there wasn't. Now I want to watch that I don't snap this off here. I just want to spread it just a little bit so that maybe what I should be doing is resaturating the joints with the extra thin. Yeah, pretty much got it here though. Okay, let's quit while we're ahead. All right, get ourselves a little tiny blob of blue tack here. Doesn't take very much. And we'll put it in the center of our rotator. Maybe I should move you in. Now I hope this is going to hold tight enough so that when I put any stress on it, it's not going to want to fall over. Maybe I should press it down just a little harder here. I don't think I'll break it if I press right in the center like this. Okay. All right. Let's get the macro lens on. Okay, I've tried to position our wishbone here so it's going to be more or less in the center of rotation, and that way it'll basically stay in focus all the time. Now, got to try and grab hold of this thing and bend it up without snapping it off. wondering if maybe what I should do is, being as that it's going to be difficult to get both of these at the same time. Okay, there. It looks like I've got this one. At least that's how it looks to me. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some quick setting and just put it on there. Now we'll let that meld. And it won't take very long. Like, I know that looks like a huge droplet to you, but actually that's pretty small, and that's going to evaporate in just probably in about 10 minutes or less. So let's just press stop and come back later. Okay, it is later, and I cheated a little bit. I used the heat gun at about 140 degrees to help evaporate that, because I didn't want it to sit here for 10 minutes if I didn't have to. So probably about 5 minutes has passed. All right, now we want to try and get this one in place. Okay. Now I'm trying to be very careful not to accidentally, maybe I need my pointy tweezers. Do you ever notice I start to say something and then I lose my train of thought here? And what I was starting to say was I want to be careful I don't accidentally knock this one out. All right, now I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. All right, where's our quick setting? Oh, that was a little bit more than I intended. Now, I think that maybe now is a good time to reinforce some of these other joints here that I'm not really reinforcing them. Oh, this one came loose. Well, let's get it back in there. See, when I was bending these things back and forth, what was happening was I was crystallizing, or whatever they. See if I can get this here now. Yeah, I more or less got it. See that there is another hole there that I realize that this has gone out of your field of rotation there, but I don't want to be filling up that other hole because we're going to be wanting to put another part in it. Oh, and this is coming off. Let's see if we can get it in place there. Okay. Now, if it melds like that, it'll be pretty good. Maybe you could go just a little bit more back. Yeah, okay. For something that's not going to be seen, I don't know why I'm going to all this effort. It was kind of fun, it's just sort of to see if I can do it. Okay. Okay, I want to move this up now so that the center of rotation will be here where these 4 little holes are in the back. Okay. Now, the reason for that is because we're going to be trying to put these on. But I'm going to call today's episode a day. I want to get it uploaded early and see if that makes a difference on YouTube as to whether or not it's kicked into 4K by 5 p.m. Winnipeg time. So, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.